The restoration of the land. Ezekiel chapter 36 opens with a powerful address to the physical landscape of Israel, specifically the mountains, hills, and valleys that have been ridiculed and occupied by surrounding nations. The text describes a scene of desolation where the land has been swallowed up by enemies and made a target of slanderous talk. However, the prophecy quickly shifts to a promise of agricultural and demographic renewal. God declares that the mountains will soon shoot forth branches and yield fruit for the returning people. The imagery is one of total reconstruction. Ruined cities are to be inhabited again, the waste places rebuilt, and the human and animal populations increased until the land becomes more prosperous than it was in its former state. The motivation for divine intervention. The narrative transitions to the theological reasoning behind this restoration, emphasizing that God's actions are not a reward for the people's past behavior. In fact, the text explicitly recounts how the house of Israel had defiled the land through their conduct and idolatry, leading to their scattering among the nations. Their presence in exile is described as profaning God's holy name, as the nations mockingly questioned why God's people were driven from his land. Consequently, the restoration is framed as an act of divine vindication. God asserts that he is acting for the sake of my holy name, seeking to demonstrate his holiness and sovereignty to the watching world by gathering his people back from all countries. Spiritual renewal and the new heart. The chapter reaches its climax with a promise of profound internal transformation, moving beyond mere physical relocation to spiritual regeneration. God promises to sprinkle clean water upon the people to cleanse them from their past impurities and idols. This transition is famously illustrated through the metaphor of a spiritual transplant. God vows to remove the heart of stone, representing stubbornness and spiritual deadness, and replace it with a heart of flesh that is responsive and soft toward him. By putting his spirit within him, God ensures that the people will finally have the internal capacity to walk in his statutes and keep his laws, creating a permanent bond between the restored people and their land.